have this rock feature in the back, and then you have this awesome retaining wall I built. You're really in that world when you look at it through these trees at this angle, so that feels awesome. Hey everyone, Lego Bro here. Today we're going to be doing some pretty cool work to this path. I created this Mills plate. As you can see, I used some green plate, some sand green plate, and some, I believe that's dark brown, maybe regular brown, I'm not sure. But anyways, I used different plates. As you can see with the Hagrid plate, I used all green, but I thought maybe if I use some different color here, that would help with the texturing. You know, I can work on some of these edges so it's not so hard. And yeah, really add some detailing in here, which is really cool. One thing I'm considering though is lowering this plate a little bit. So I might add some angled bricks here and then bring it down to the base plate. So there's a little bit of depth, a little bit of, you know, height here, just to vary it up a little bit. Something I didn't do was going to do with Hagrid's, but I ended up leaving it flat because eventually there's going to be a plate here that brings you up to a hill. To the castle. So that'll have some height there, and that'll kind of bring us down to a level ground here. But for this Thestral carriage plate, I might rip this out and add some depth in here, or maybe a little bit over here. Maybe I could do that over here and create a little bit of a wave, just so there's a little bit of a difference. So that's what I'm going to do today, is work on this, work on some detailing. As you can see, I already started putting in some things just to get a little bit of a vibe, but I'm going to rip all this apart and start over. And then also I'm going to go through some of the mini MOCs I made. I made a little bit of a small little dungeon. I'm going to get a skeleton minifig to add in there, but I like how that kind of comes right off of the Chamber of Secrets. And again, once I really get into this build, I'm going to expand this and make a whole Chamber of Secrets environment. So this will kind of be incorporated differently and everything else. But and then I fixed my Hermione MOC, so that's looking a lot better. And then I ended up making a mini room of requirement. I did a couple of these in a video that you saw before. One was a little bit bigger, but I wanted to make something a little smaller. I really liked that fake Dementor minifig and Luna, and you got her Patronus with the rabbit. So that was something I created, and I can go through that. I got to add some detailing up here. I'm not sure what that's going to be. If you look at some of these other ones that are up high, you got some more astronomy-based things. You have this little potion room. I actually have no idea what that is, but that came with the fluffy set. So that's what we're going to work on today. Let's dive into some parts and get going. So I took out all the bricklink orders I made. I plan to do this, or plan to use these for my dark forest, but I'll use these for the path. So I got a lot of different parts here. We got the grass stems. We got a bunch of different leaf colors. You know, we got that dark green. We have the olive color. We have spiders. We have a lot of these, or at least a few, which I think I know exactly where I'm going to put those. I have some bones here. Maybe I'll incorporate a spot. You never know. There might be some spots. Then we got some miscellaneous pieces here. So a lot to work with. And I already ripped out the sand green plates, took out the bricks I had underneath, and then I created this little bit of an angled slope. So you can see it's a different color, but I think once I start adding some of these, you'll start to create a little bit more of a vibe around it. So it'll start to look a little more natural. And then one cool thing I did here was, instead of using these on this side, similar to what I did with the brown, I ended up putting these sand green masonry bricks I bought, which would have looked great with my Hut on the Rock MOC. I kind of wish I did that, like maybe the first few levels on the stone wharf. Check out that video if you haven't seen it. This is a custom build, which I truly love, but those might look good there. And I might, if I have some extra, I might put in a few. What do you guys think? It would look a lot more like seaweed growth and everything. So anyways, here are all these pieces. This is what I'm starting to do. I built this masonry wall, and I think I might bring it up another level so I can separate this section. One thing I didn't really think of beforehand was possibly using this half of the base plate to create the Hogsmeade train station. So the entryway, you know, the train could pull up here, you'd have the station, and then the path could go here, and this is where the carriages go. What do you guys think? I think that might be what I use this side for, because otherwise it's going to be lost space, but that's why I was thinking about putting this retaining wall here as if this was like a separate section. So that's the plan right now. I'm going to start adding some more detailing, build up this wall, and I'll come back. That's looking awesome. I love this. I love this retaining wall. It's like it was purposefully built You can see the back side of it from the sand green up to the more of the light bluish gray color. So that feels really cool, but I think it needs one more part. It definitely needs to feel a little more overgrown. So what I think I'm going to tap into is these olive branches and just lay them across the top and kind of hide some of this, have it overhang a little bit. Maybe I want to add a few snot bricks on the other side so I can have some of it hanging down the retaining wall. And then we'll start detailing this side with more of the green leaves and everything. So let's do it. That's much better. That really hides kind of this differentiation here. Maybe I'll add a little bit more in here just to give it a little bit more, but I kind of like that. It fills in nicely. Let's check the reverse angle of that too. Yeah, that's looking really cool. I love the differentiation in color. You know, you get closer to the sand green plate here. You get the sand green masonry bricks. Then as you get higher, you get the more cleaner ones that aren't as dirty. This is looking awesome. Let's start detailing this section, and maybe we can put in our characters and our trees here to see how that's going to lay out. Yeah, this layout is looking mighty awesome. I mean, check out that depth in there. That looks so cool with the wall. I love it. I could add some more here, add the carriages, some rocks, features, things like that. But I think this is shaping out to be awesome. So now we got a little bit more detail. I'm adding in a little bit of these throughout. I'm not sure if this section is going to be where they enter or that section, so I got to figure that out. But as you can see here, hey, there's a little chocolate frog hiding on the wall. I bet you didn't notice that the last time. But I think as you add a little bit more of these detail, a little more grass, this is really filling out. I mean, they're really in that world when you look at it through these trees at this angle, so that feels awesome. So I'm gonna add a little bit more detailing to the carriage path, and then I gotta figure out what to do with this corner. Maybe I'll put some spiders or some bones or something in there, kind of leading to Hagrid's. I think from that angle will be the path. It'll be a few more spaces apart, probably more like that. But as you get into this section, this is gonna drop off into the lake. So that's what we'll be headed there. I'll have to build a little dock with some boats. So that's where that's going. And so I decided to make some fake students with some spare minifigures. Can you tell who's who, who's what parts I used? That hair is pretty obvious, so you probably know. So this is all looking great, but I think what I need to finish this off will be in order of street lights, or in this case, path lights. So this is from the Hogsmeade set. So if I can get a few more of these and line it down here and then have this be the entryway, yeah, and this can be the Hogsmeade station right here. So I'll have to build that mock and design that in a separate video, but I really like how this is turning out. Tell me what you guys think. Really would appreciate some feedback, ideas, ways to really make this even better than it already is looking right now. I think I know exactly what I can put here. So there's just a little detailing. I put in a little rock formation, and then you have a couple of spiders with the bone on the clip. So it's pretty cool. Here's a view from the top. Nothing crazy, just a lot of different colors, you know, sand green, olive green, tan, and the grays, and then the greens. So looks pretty cool. I mean, when you step back, you kind of come from behind the carriage. It's just a little detail that you won't really see for the most part, but overall, this is looking great. One last thing, I want to build a bench here, so I'm going to get on that. This is the placement of where I'm going to put the bench. As you can see here, this is what I made. Something very simple. You just take a couple of hinge pieces and then put your tiles on there. So I used, this side obviously has only two, or a single connection, whereas this has a double connection. So I use that as the bottom. That is the top. Place that right there. And now you have a nice little waiting bench before you hop on the Thestral carriage. So that's what I'm building today. Again, just to recap, we have this rock feature in the back. We have the carriage path with some detailing on it. And then you have this awesome retaining wall I built with the light bluish gray masonry bricks and then the sand green bricks. And then you have the area where Harry and Luna are with the baby Thestral. So that looks really cool. Now let's turn this around because this is actually going to be facing this way when it comes to the castle. So, and then on this first half of the plate, we're going to build a Hogsmeade train station. So that'll hopefully be in the next video, but I'll start designing that in studio, which I think will be really cool. And then it'll be a pathway that leads to the carriages. So as a final thing, let's look at these mini MOCs that I built. The Hermione desk MOC is not anything new. I've had this before, but I had to rip out some of the plates so I could finish my Troll on the Loose MOC over here. So I replaced the plate, put it back together. I also fixed the back of it this way because it's going to be on the second floor. Since it's going to be on the second floor, as you can see, there's more of the light and dark bluish gray on the bottom, and then you get up to the tan color. So since it was going to be tan, I had to work on something down below that would match the base. So I created a dungeon. Now what I have to get here is a skeleton minifig, but this goes right next to the Chamber of Secrets, so you can pretend like maybe someone had gotten down there, or it's a dungeon, so they were chained up, and maybe the snake got to them. So that's what I did there, and then up above I wanted to create a mini MOC of the Room of Requirement. So you have Luna in there with the Dementor minifig, and I think that looks awesome. I have to come up with something up here. If anybody has any suggestions, please let me know. Would love to hear it. So here's a look of it with the castle so far. Again, this is going to keep expanding and changing, so I'm going to keep growing it, but you can see these mini MOCs. I love the mini ones personally. You can tell really cool stories in such a small space. And so here's the Thestral plate we worked on today, which is looking awesome. And yeah, please subscribe, give all these videos a like, and let me know what you want to see next. Thanks, everyone.
Hey, do you like this video? Be sure to subscribe so I can keep making videos.